Hello, welcome back to another episode of Things Diorpium wants you to hear. We got episode 16 today. Let's go. Um, Don't really got too much to say beforehand. Just another crack at it, basically. I think we should just start right off with the first thing. Is we got a bunch of predictions. That's probably gonna be in most episodes, but we're starting off with it today. Number one, Izzy versus Joe PYFER. It's it's does Izzy TKO him after cracking him with something and win? Does Izzy lose by decision because he gets out grappled a little bit? I think maybe, or maybe the grappling would be more even between them because they're both like not the biggest grapplers. Does Joe Piper just KO Izzy like how Imavov basically KO'd slash TKO'd him? I don't know. I really don't know. If I'm gonna put money on it, I'm gonna say Izzy's gonna have his moment. He's gonna crack Joe, and he's just gonna get. I think he's just gonna KO Joe, crack him, and then maybe get follow up with a little TKO. I don't think it's gonna be no flat line for real, but yeah. I don't know if I think it's a main event. I don't know if it's a main event. There's a 5 round fight, and then that's like a whole nother. It's a whole nother discussion, maybe. Yeah, I think if it is a 5 round fight, I think Izzy takes it clearly. I think he just outworks him. Paces better, conserves energy, pieces him apart, stays composed. You know, Joe seems a little angry. He looks like he could get a little emotional in the cage. Maybe lose himself a little bit if shit gets real deep. I'm not saying he can't dig though. Joe Piper's Joe Piper. I'm not trying to belittle him or whatever. Next one, Paulo Costa versus Azamat Mirzakhanov. Whoa, this is actually crazy. Paulo Costa moving up to 205 because he can't hang at 185 anymore. Just can't make weight. It is what it is. That's what I'm assuming it is. By the way, it's what I've heard. Predictions. It's either honestly, I think Paulo Costa lighter man skills, dude. Azamat takes his O and on some crazy shit, or Azamat just KOs him like he did the Rockets with a jab, basically. But I think I could see like some crazy shit happening starting off in 2026. Paulo Costa, lighter man skilling Azamat Mirzakhanov. Maybe just like out doing him by decision. I mean, I say that, but also then I sit here and reminded to myself that Paulo Costa's cardio is pretty trash. I mean, like, what's a harder fight, Mirzakhanov or what's dude's name, Roman Kopylov? Obviously two different weight classes, different type of fights or whatever. But I'm gonna say Mirzakhanov TKOs Paulo Costa, or Paulo Costa just lighter man skills him. But I think I'm gonna go with Azamat for that one. Next one, Tresean Gore versus Azamat Bakoev, another Azamat. This is actually a crazy fight. I fuck with Tresean Gore. You know what I'm saying? Everyone remembers his guillotines on the Contender Series and whatever. Dude, I'm unfortunate. As Georgia boy. I fuck with Tresean. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him personally. Seen him once at the gym or whatever, but I'm gonna have to go with Azamat Bakoev. I think he's just gonna outmuscle him, dude. This is gonna be a dogfight though. This is actually gonna be crazy. It's not. I don't think it's gonna be one sided at all. I think it's gonna be, a closer scrap than how Marco Tulio versus Tresean Gore went. If that makes sense, it's gonna be closer than that. But I think that Azamat will. I think Azamat will just do the damage and it'll add up and then slowly break him down and that's what it is. I think it's gonna be a dogfight. I think I think Azamat Bakoev is gonna do him. Honestly, I could see it going to a decision, but if not, I think Bakoev just TKOs him or whatever. Next fight, Loner Kavanagh versus Bruno Silva. This fight is exactly going to be the copy and paste of how Joshua Van versus Bruno Silva went. So obviously, Loner Kavanagh is going to beat Bruno Silva, I think by TKO up against the fence on some blitzing shit. I could see it, just some clean combo, bro. Kavanagh's really good, bro. Unfortunate what happened to him trying to fight our boy Charles Johnson, but it is what it is. Let me fix this mic a little bit just to pick up more of what I'm saying. Sorry. What's next? Yeah, I'm going with Kavanaugh over Bruno Silva. Next one I saw, this is actually crazy. Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos, bro. That's fucking insane. And I'm going with Kevin Vallejos. I think that dude, Josh gets so gritty and so does Kevin, but I think Josh is on the second half of his career. Kevin's on the come up. I don't think Kevin's gonna get fraud checked by Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's good, bro. And I saw TJ Dillashaw talking, I think, on the Jackson podcast like a minute ago. I think it was a couple of months ago, or around the last time Josh Emmett fought, that he's coaching Josh Emmett now, and he really believes in him. And just how he was talking about it, honestly, kind of moved me to where I believe in Josh Emmett too, but I think Kevin Vallejos is just too much personally. But I think that one's still going to be a good scrap. I wouldn't be surprised if it's somehow like a doctor stoppage from Kevin Vallejos. Like, it's El Gringo, bro. Whatever his nickname is, he's got a chin, bro. He's Hispanic. He's done. Josh Emmett, I could see him just listen. If Ilya couldn't do it, I don't think Kevin Vallejos is going to do it. But I think Kevin Vallejos is going to add up on damage more at a pace than what Josh Emmett would, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm going Kevin Vallejos, either doctor stoppage or decision. I don't see anyone getting finished here unless it's Josh Emmett somehow. Because I think even Kevin Vallejos can eat Josh Emmett's overhands or hooks or whatever. You see his fucking, Lucas Tracy says, the big meaty hooks. Next one, I saw DDP versus Brendan Allen aimed for Miami, rumored or whatever. Listen, this is crazy. And this makes sense too. We all know the beef between DDP and Brendan Allen. It's not like the craziest beef in the world or whatever, but there's something there. And I think this is a perfect bounce back fight for DDP. I think Brendan Allen, obviously made RDR quit, but I think DDP is going to make Brendan Allen quit. And I think that's just it. I don't think he's going to outpace him. I think they're going to go, band for band with the pace. But I think that DDP is just going to hit a little harder, be a little stronger, grapple a little better, scramble a little better. You know what I'm saying? It's just touch him up just a little bit better. And I don't think this is going to be a main event for Miami. Obviously, it's in a title fight, but I think regardless, I think Drake is just going to outpace him just a little bit better. And DDP might win by decision or somehow chokes out Brendan Allen, which would be crazy. Next fight, Walter Walker versus Marcin Tybura. Listen, I could either see Walter Walker genuinely getting his fifth heel or fourth heel, whichever one it is, just like pulling it off, whatever Marcin, unexpected. You never know what to expect with his performance. He's either killing it or just sucks absolute ass. And I can see him sucking absolute ass against Walter Walker. Walter Walker is actually in shape. You know what I'm saying? Marcin Tybura is big, but Walter Walker can, I think, I would assume that he'd be able to out-grapple him. I don't know. Marcin Tybura is good, and he could out-vet Walter Walker, but I don't know if I see that happening for real. So yeah, I'm going to go Walter Walker by submission. Hopefully he'll hook. If not, I could see Marcin somehow KOing Tybura on the feet if he doesn't shoot instantly after getting, touched by a jab that he didn't like or whatever. Yeah, I think that's it all for predictions for UFC on this fight or on that first point or whatever for this episode. So yeah, take with that what you will. Number 2, the Meta Apex, bro. We all saw Dana announce that. Who knows what that's gonna entail, bro? All I see is the UFC getting so much more money. So if you're still gonna have cards in the Apex, dude, we are in the future now. You know what I mean? We are in the future. Let's make the Apex like a mini sphere, but maybe not even like a mini sphere per se, because I think that's doing too much, me personally. But I think that we could up the screens in there, just make it. It's already pretty intimate and small, but you can make it feel exclusive as well. You know what I'm saying? Not just the Apex. You know what I mean? I just hope to see money put into the production in the Apex, and we could, and I hope that somehow Paramount with the shit that is going on can just like up the quality of the Apex cards, via, production, the cameras or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and the promotion, and, like some audio shit or like just mixed. I want something different about the Apex somewhat. Now the people are trying to call it the Metapex, I fuck with that. That sounds tough. But for the next 5 years, Meta's gonna be helping that shit. So I hope some money's poured into that and they make it cool somehow. I don't know. I'm not built like that. I'm not the one making those decisions. Next one, number 3. I just want to put this out there real quick. Catch me in the backyard on UFC 5, bro. That's where I lay. I'll play, any weight. I usually don't play heavyweight, but I play like flyweight to like light heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Heavyweight be too big. Flyweight, I'm usually Minel Cap. Bantamweight, I'm usually Peter Yan. Featherweight, I'm gonna have to go with Yair probably, but I use basically everyone. I don't just use these people. Obviously, I use like everyone, but these are my mains basically. Lightweight, I'm gonna go with Gaethje. I'll be using Gaethje. Welterweight, I guess I'm gonna go with Prates, but I think I don't really have like a true main. But if I did, it would be Prates. 85. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Anderson Silva probably. 205. I'm gonna go with Yuri, but it's probably Khalil actually, just because of the Muay Thai. And I usually only play standing bang. Fuck, I'm not saying fuck MMA. I love MMA, but I think it's let me fix that light. I think the MMA sucks on the game. I think standing bang is where it's at, bro. That's what's the most fun. Um, yeah. Playing Xbox, gamertag VurryVURHY. You'll know it's me if you see me have an Islam and Dustin Poirier, whatever calling card, and you'll see my one of a kind gamer picture. So yeah, take with that what you will. Number 4. This one's actually pretty crazy. Um, Harrison versus Nunez is off, bruh. Kayla had a neck injury that requires surgery, and she'll be out for 6 months. I saw that. I haven't really done too much research into it, so I can't like give you all the scoop. I'm sure y'all have heard it or seen it on Instagram, whatever. I'm not. This isn't breaking news. I'm just kind of giving you my thoughts on it. Very unfortunate because now there's not going to be 2 title fights on the inaugural Paramount card, but it is what it is. You know, for 35, I'd say Kayla Harrison's my favorite women's fighter. I think I said that in my last whatever video, one of my last videos. So don't got to go over that again. But yeah, I think just the Nunez comeback would be crazy, but I think it would be a clean sweep from Kayla. I think it just like I could see literally just like another Kimura or some easy submission or just a judo throw and somehow Nunez is KO'd because she landed on her head or some bullshit. Just literally her getting decimated basically is how I see this shit going. Um, yeah, but anyway, that doesn't matter because that's not happening anymore right now. 6 months off is crazy. I hope they don't. I don't think they'll strip her because they literally did all that work for her to get the belt. No way they do that shit. But I don't think they'll do it interim either. I think they'll wait. I think they really hate 135 bantamweight because there's no emotion in there besides Kayla. Then they had to bring someone out of retirement to fight Kayla to sell something out of that division. So it is what it is. We all wish her a speedy recovery. We all fuck with Kayla Harrison over here. This one's good. Number 5, Dirty Boxing is now officially good to go. It's been approved by the Georgia Athletic Commission. Let's run that. I believe that Corey Jackson will headline the first ever ATL Dirty Boxing card. He is 3-0 in the lightweight division. I'm not going to say too much, bruh. Not going to say too much, but I really was trying to get Landon Quinones versus Corey Jackson for the 155 inaugural title. For, fucking doing Atlanta or whatever. It's what makes the most sense. I'm not joking. But it just doesn't, got, like I said, Lil Birdie, whatever, whoever it was. I don't know. But they said that that's not going to happen. I think that's pretty unfortunate. Sorry, they said sorry to burst my bubble. But my bubble was bursted, unfortunately. So I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting for them to announce that. I want to see where they play with the matchmaking because I'm not going to lie, the matchmaking on Dirty Boxing is like good, you know what I'm saying? I get it's a young business and they need to make money moves now just to get, shit like started off good, but man, not the best matchmaking. You're getting some random Paula Betancourt that, lost to Dakota Ditcheva, and that's all she's known for. To fight Jessica Rose Clark, one of the better girls at 35, if not the best. So you're literally just setting her up. It just seems like pretty fake. Like doesn't seem truly entertaining to me. That doesn't sell me personally. Like obviously I don't want to keep on ranting about it. Kat Nelson is what would sell me because that's what I feel is right. And I get not everyone is watching Dirty Boxing and caring about it like I care about it. And, they're just there because whatever, or watch it because it's whatever, it's new. But if you actually care about it, you would know that this is a bullshit main event. We need Kat Nelson in there, but it is what it is, bro. I hope they give Kat the next opportunity, or she fights the winner of who Naomi Young versus B Nguyen. That would be crazy, bro. Kat Nelson versus B Nguyen at 35. I know B Nguyen's pretty small, so even if she wins, that versus Kat would be crazy. Or if Naomi Young wins, that versus Kat would be crazy too. So I guess that's kind of what I'm looking towards now. But it is what it is. But yeah, Georgia card better be crazy. Rob Perez says he wanted to be on that card. Speaking of Rob Perez, he announced himself. Dirty Boxing didn't even announce it. He's going to be fighting Eric Odin. I need to do more research into that, but I'll make a video whenever they actually announce that for whatever card comes out that it's going to be on. So no rush on that, but just a little heads up, whatever. Rob Perez is booked and ready to go. Yeah. I don't really know who else. I think we should get Akeem the Dream back on the Georgia card. You know, he's literally trains out of ATT Sandy Springs here in Sandy Springs or in the Atlanta area. You know what I'm saying? So that only makes sense. Give him a second chance. The first fight didn't go so good, but trust me, you know, just give him one more shot at least, bro. Give him the opportunity, please. You know, you need a bout spot to be filled up anyway, from someone that from the city that's gonna sell tickets. And if you come to Atlanta, bro, sign Bolo at 1984 Lewis underscore Lewis. I don't know on Instagram. Sign Bolo, bro. He's a heavyweight Muay Thai champion in the regional scene in Atlanta. Being pro Muay Thai. He is fighting for the bare knuckle or super heavyweight bare knuckle championship for the NFC as well. You know, against some, not even gonna lie, some guy that looks like he makes LSD out of a bathtub. But it is what it is. He won his last fight. It was what it is. It was what it was, bro. It is what it is, bro. All right, chill. Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to that. I can't wait for them to come here soon so I can pull up. I can try to get some interviews flowing, bro. If they're here, I'm there, bro. If that makes sense, bro. And if a Cat Nelson's on that card, best believe I'm trying to get a Cat Nelson interview. Best believe I'm gonna get a Corey Jackson interview or try to. I'm gonna try my hardest. Whoever is on there, bro, I will try to get an interview of them. Whether it's on Zoom, which that kind of sucks. If they're gonna be in Atlanta, I prefer it to be week of. But I know 5 weeks. It's tough out here, man. So, but when DBX comes here, bro, if any somehow dirty boxing fighters are watching this video, bro, come do fight week at ATT Sandy Springs, bro. We got you. We got a sauna. We got everything you need, bro. Pull up. Yeah, but besides that, like I said, it's official in Georgia. Let's go. Number 6, we got some gym fight announcements. There's a bunch, but these are the ones I'm gonna talk about that have been announced or whatever. They actually have fight posters that I'll put up on the screen. Big Dog Cass, Combat Cass, Cassandra Ng is fighting. I don't know, but it'll be on the screen. I forgot to write it down. And I think it's gonna be a clean sweep for Cass. I can see her doing it in the first round. She stays composed and just picks her shots good. We saw her opponent at the NFC kickboxing tournament, me in the gym or whatever. She got head kicked in the first round and lost. It is what it is. She didn't look too bad or whatever, but I think Cass trains too hard and goes too hard for, her opponent to win at all and have any sort of chance. And that's how I'm just being completely honest, not even trying to just overhype Cass. Cass is good, we're all amateurs still. We're doing what we need to do, but that's really how it's going to go. It's going to be a pretty obvious decision where Cass might even get a 10-8 round or especially in the second or the third. I can see it after that girl gasses out because I'm telling you, Cass's conditioning is good, bro. I'm not going to tell you, her whole fucking spiel for her tie or whatever, but trust me, bro, Cass is not. Cass is a force to be reckoned with, basically. So that fight's going to be really good. Her first NFC fight. Congrats, Cass. We've been waiting on that. And I talked about it a little bit ago. Bolo versus Stephen Flanagan, heavyweight bare knuckle championship. ATT Sandy Springs is active, bro. And there's hella more that we know. When I get some sort of fight poster or whatever, I'll put it in a future episode. But those are the 2 we got now. Let's go. It's very exciting. Some motion for the gym. I'm soon. Hopefully I'm soon. Next one. Song Yadong is a straight chiller, bro. Wrote that down as is. I watched the video with him and Mighty Mouse. You saw the size difference, bro. They fight one fucking this is Mighty Mouse right here. Song Yadong's this big. They fight one weight class away from each other. This is just so insane. Song Yadong he's huge. He's huge. So just seeing how big he actually is and making weight and all that stuff, it's crazy. Yeah, and Song Yadong knows pretty good English, bro. It's a good watch. I'm not gonna tell you how the interview went or whatever, really, but it was just a one-on-one. It was half of it was Song Yadong and half of it was Uriah Faber. I'm pretty sure that is his coach or whatever. I know Uriah Faber coaches a lot of Chinese fighters, or has a gym there or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, there's a gym here that a lot of foreign fighters come to. That's pretty cool within itself. Yeah, I recommend watching the Mighty Cast with Song Yadong. Song Yadong's pretty cool, and I fuck with a little bit of his story. Just seeing some sort of character and not even just character development, not even just that, but just giving some sort of knowledge on Song Yadong's past is pretty cool. And he's a high ranked bantamweight, so it's pretty interesting. A little bit on that. Got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Number 8, Eddie Baker taking his first step since the accident. I'll put a photo on the screen here. You know, a couple of days ago, I made a video about Eddie Baker getting his knee torn, which I think it was like a couple of weeks ago. He just posted on Instagram that you know, he's taking his first steps. He's in the crutches. He's got a knee brace on. We saw how bad that shit was. It's crazy unfortunate. Sorry if you can hear Jake drinking that water. So yeah, like we pretty sure I said in the other video, but we'll say it again. We wish Eddie Baker a speedy recovery over here. We love Team Sesh and you know, healthy boys and the water boys, all that. Team Sesh till the grave, basically. Last one. This one a little quick episode. Number 9, and I talked about it in my Dirty Box video I just made earlier today, or you know, whenever this video drops, I don't know. Walking Buckley joining the Overdogs podcast is crazy for me personally, because you know, like I already said in the video, look at this man right behind me. He's staring into all of us in every video that I make ever. But not even just that. I really fuck with Walking Buckley, bro, and the fact that he's gonna be on Mike Perry's podcast, which Mike Perry is the owner of Dirty Boxing and, you know, matchmaker. You know, he's the guy of guys for that shit with John Jones, you know, co-owning with each other. But it's just like, Joaquin's like just, not even just his takes, but the questions he asks and, you know, where his mind's at within the conversation and the flow. He's always asking the right questions, trying to, you know, maybe even entice these people a little bit, try to get them to say a little something about each other, you know, just to get a little bit of, not like negative vibes, but like get a little animosity flowing, or negative animosity or whatever. Not even just that, but I can see that Buckley actually cares, bro. And he's trying to stay active. He's trying to stay busy. He's trying to make his money. He's on his grind, bro. And I can't do nothing but respect that. So him being a co-host definitely brings a whole nother side to all these conversations. But like a good side of someone that actually understands a lot of the striking stuff. And not even just that, is good to flow in conversation with, has good takes, all that. I love that. And like I said it earlier or whatever too in the other video, it's a win-win for me, bro. I love Dirty Boxing. Big fan of Mike Perry. Big fan of Walking Buckley. The Overdogs podcast is hella underrated, bro. And I hope that it gets more motion soon, because they're making some good moves over there that I think y'all would genuinely enjoy, just like I do. So, yeah, that's really it. My next video I'm trying to make, I'll probably make it next week, or like, yeah, I guess say Saturday. So, you know, next week or whatever. Is 5 fighters that are on pace to be the next T Ferg. You know what I mean? Got close to the top, or got to the top, and they ain't winning no more, bruh. Or, you know, they're on pace to. And I'll tell you everything I think about that. I only have 5 names right now, but I'm gonna either try to get one from each division, like the person I think the most from each division, or just like a handful of guys that I think are in that position. Not really caring on the weight class or whatever, but yeah, that's it. That's it for this episode of Things Diorpium wants you to hear. You know, number 16. I appreciate you guys. Thank you if you watched it all the way through. You know, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that, whatever. And, you know, ATT till I die, obviously. And thank you guys. You guys have a good night. Thank you.